Oh, look at that. It wasn't muted this whole time. You guys can probably hear me. Quick audio test. How loud am I? I turned music down just a little bit. Can't even hear myself. So it'll be something more like this. I still have a cough. I'm still feeling terrible. But let me know how loud I am, if I'm too quiet, etc. I've been watching a video on the side. Haven't really been paying attention, and luckily there's still a little bit of time left. Alright, how's everybody doing today? My name is Hyden. I'll watch this video later, but I'm not going to save it. It was just some tips on how to light up a scene nicely. And I have a lot of these videos going. Let's close all these. Okay, so the goal for today is to make a low poly scene for the combat system. Now I'll show you how far the combat system has gotten. It's still not done. Hello Mr. K. Hello Mr. K's mom. How are you guys doing today? So there's a little flying pig. Nothing really special. We still have our base mesh. We gotta give it like clothes, hair, all that stuff soon. But if you look here, these come in, camera zooms down. Our player slides forward. I need to actually not animate it, but code it so it runs, because it's already been animated. Then when you choose attack, it goes to the correct creature, which I think is cool, right? If I choose, let's say, wrap, it zooms up and out like so, and you can see your creatures and their creatures. Now, I can't even hear my own voice still. I gotta turn this down just a little bit more. Excuse me. So if you see, right now the scene is just a white cube, and they're like the creatures are white, and these guys actually are colored nicely. But what I want to do is create a nice low poly scene so that when this zooms out, all of that will change to white, and then whatever you're hovering over, because right now you can't tell when I'm actually hovering over this creature, maybe it's this one, I'm not actually sure, but whichever one you're hovering over will be colored in red. Right? And then when you move your little mouse, the next one covered in red. Now if your attack hits multiple, then multiple things will be colored in red, so on and so forth. Now there will be animations, obviously there just aren't any yet, those will be next. And you can see I can choose my next attack, and you didn't know, but I did just choose the other thing to hit. So creature died, so it opens up this menu which is still unfinished with the black squares and everything. So I have to send out this guy, it's the only one that'll let me, and he automatically spawns. He doesn't actually, of course not like a million messages. Okay, so yeah, there's quite a ways to go in terms of animation and all that stuff. I'm not sure how much the game will cost in the end. Joe Bombs? I can't pronounce that name. But okay, I really can't hear myself. Let's go over here maybe and actually turn the volume down here. I think that's a little bit better. Yeah, definitely better. Now, just before I get started, there was one thing I did want to check, and that was my combat system. Just because it only take about 10 seconds to test. If we go here, combat manager. I send you inspiration for a fighting scene idea. Hopefully it's not a troll, but I'll check it. Let's see. Oh god. I see what you mean. So like, you're in, so the sides just end kind of thing. It's not a bad idea. Actually, that'd be kind of cool if it was like flying in the air or something. Instead of having like that, basically you sent me this video. Hopefully I don't get like flagged for copyright. But it's sort of like that Mario game where you play as the Toad. What's that Toad game? I can't remember. But okay, let me test the one thing and then we'll go straight into modeling. And it's basically just to see if we're in our... Which one do I want to use? Which one do I want to use? Player inputs, no. Attack state? I think it's in Combat Manager itself. And it's like the hurt elemental part. Let me just find that. Hurt elementals. Okay, I want to just try 3 lines of code, which is debug.log elemental is going to be hurt. Yield return new wait 4 seconds 2f debug.log the elemental is actually hurt. Okay, we're getting an error here, which is Don't worry, Malachi, I'm not actually coding. Basically, I just wanted to see if I could do a yield return new in my actual combat system here, because they're all technically running off of, wait for it, these I enumerators, right? But I can't. So that's a shame. Let's close this. Let's open up Blender. So yeah, I can't read the name there because it's Japanese, but they are in a coroutine, sort of. Like I showed at the end of my script, the states are running off a coroutine, and the do init is being called from there. But yeah, I guess I can't, which is fine. I know how to get around it, so it's no big deal. Now, for size reference, I'm probably going to want... Where's my world? Is this my world? It's funny how much better this one panel looks than everything else. Oh, that's great. Actually, I will take this. So, file, new. Let's append that real quick. There we go. Without the mountains, though, it looks really silly, eh? Excuse me. So Malachi and Joe Bums, it's exactly the plan. I will change it based on where you are, and right now, I'm just, for my test scene, it's just going to be a forested area. Now, Ren said Captain Toad. Captain Toad. Is that the game I'm thinking of? Game. There we go. So his combat system, or not combat system, but our combat system would be sort of like this, where it's all floating in the air. I agree with you, Logan, entirely on that one. No game is worth $60. Wind Waker, man, it's so good. It's so good. Alright, now we're just gonna make a normal scene. Hello, Ritwick. How you doing today? Okay, so this is just a good size reference, but all of these pieces are already triangulated, already kind of ugly. So let's create a new plane. We'll size it up. Probably be about this big, right? Okay, so we can... I don't want to delete this just yet, but I'm going to need to. Okay, let's call this combat terrain. Now let's save this here. Do I want to model them all in this one scene and then place when we need, or make them separate files? I'm probably just going to make them separate files, and we'll call this combat terrain grass forest. Gas, whoops. Okay. So we go back into Unity, load up our scene. Oh, it's still importing, eh? Oops, that's not scenes. Save this. Alright, so this is our scene before. As you can see, just a little white block. Now we're going to actually delete this cube. Let's go to imports. Put this to 0, 0, 0. And now you can see we're the same white block, but it's now a Blender object, which means we can actually make it look cool. Okay. I guess what I could do is just test. I'm not even sure if I need a collider, but I'll give it one just in case. Okay, so let's save this. We'll go to our game scene. We'll press play. Let's just see if that's a good size. It's personal version for now. You can sort of see the end of the world here. Right, so if I went over here, you can see it's kind of small. And that's not good. We're going to need to make it probably about twice as big. It's less important the farther out it goes, because the camera's only ever going to focus on these few areas, right? But it's still nice to obviously not have edges. Unless, of course, we decide to make it floating, which would be kind of cool for the sense that, like, they're mages, so they're floating in this imaginary world. And if that's the case, I should make it circular. I guess we could try it, right? No harm, no foul. So in that case, let's add a circle. I'll make it about this big. Extrude, says it down. It'll be interesting doing the alterations to the terrain, though. I should also turn on display for you guys, eh? There we go. Okay. Yeah, so Mr. K, I like that idea of having it so it's like a floating off world. Right? And that's like the abyss outside of that. Alright, so it's sort of be like that. I'd probably actually make it a lot larger though. So like... Oh, you know what I could do? If I do 2 loops here, then I can inset a face, and then over here, just give it a negative depth. Grab this top loop. Actually, grab both loops. Sure, why not? I'm just gonna... There we go. Just gives like an extra ring of detail, maybe. Maybe something like this is better. Logan says, I'm weirdly attracted to the modeling style in the Wild 8. Oh, I've heard of this game. How have I heard of this game? Yeah, no, it is very low poly. It's exactly basically what my Mountain Man game that I was working on looks like, but the camera is top-down view, and they've chosen more realistic tones. It creates this effect, and they've like it looks low poly, but it's also super super detailed because you can see all these ripples. That is specifically the fact that they just made this really really detailed. What am I reading here? Oh, okay, old messages, a lot of messages. Jeez. Okay, so let's try this though. Let's just see. And I'm also not going to collider on it just because I want to see if I need one. And I haven't saved. What was this called? This, I probably just called it combat terrain. Yeah, okay. So if I save this and go back here, I think Unity knows that if they have the same name to automatically switch the meshes. But I could be wrong. Let's see. We might be floating on nothing. Or we have... Oh, that's cool. Complete accident. But what if you're actually in like an arena like this? Oh, that's really cool. That's not what I wanted, but it's really cool. Excuse me. So what happened there was this. If I actually switch, I can show you. If we go to solid, you see how it's all like really dark here, right? And if I was inside of it, it's really really bright. It's because it thinks that this dark side is actually the outside of the object, and you have to tell it that it's not. But I didn't do that, so it ends up looking like this. Right, and then you get it on the terrain like that. Oh, that's so cool. Let's just pull this up for now. Just like I know it's too detailed and gonna be like nothing there, but let's just see what this looks like. And I guess since we're doing this, potentially, let's also just extrude this up maybe. I like how the fact I'm sick is the only reason I'm able to watch this stream right now. I'm also sick. I actually have to cough right now, so let me mute my mic for a second. Okay, I'm back. I don't think I'm actually going to need to bring this down. I think what I should do is just size it all up to be a lot bigger. Right? This is going to be too high now because you can see some parts, but I just imagine it'd be like this. Make a crowd in the background. Maybe for like an arena-styled place. Like this is still sort of like an arena, but I'm picturing more like a Roman arena than I'd put people there. Otherwise, I'm just going to ignore that for the time being. This should automatically update. Yeah. Yes. I like this. And then if we're in the game, we're still floating, but it's interesting how that actually breaks the game by updating. Isn't always fun when accidents end up... Oh, my game's actually broken, eh? What'd I do? Why did it break? What just happened? Did anybody see what I did? This isn't good. It set this up. Where's my player anyways? Okay, so he fell through the ground. And he's still falling. But why didn't my animation come up? Why did this happen? Uh-oh. I'm a little scared now, guys. I gotta check something. I don't understand why that would break. I know the character fell, but the actual UI should still be appearing. It's not attached to the character. Right? So it ran this. Okay. How about to here? Oh! Okay, so see how I have move player here? Excuse me. No, I have no idea. Ah, there we go. Right here. So in my update, I'm trying to move the player closer to this point, but because he fell through the ground, he never reached the point. And since he never reaches that point, we never actually say go to inputs. So it's fine. Okay, we didn't actually break the game. As long as I know that, that's all that matters. Let's get rid of that comment. Close this. Close this. Okay. Excuse me. So. We're not going to need this anymore. I could actually just use a square just to make my life easier and just not modify this. So this is like the combat bowl. Let's unpress play. Okay. I'll also quit Discord so I don't ever lag. One sec, I gotta cough again, guys. I apologize. I really do hate being sick, but I need to make progress on the game. It's like a big struggle. That's what it is. Okay. So I'm actually set the cursor to selected and then origin to 3D cursor and Alt-RLT. That way this is right along the grid line. So if this had a collider, the game would work. Now, terrarium? What's a a terrarium. I know what you mean. That's a fun possibility. I might just leave it so it's sky, so that way, like, if you're in a dark area, it'll be all dark out, and if you're in a forest, it'll be nice and cloudy. Oh my god, this cough is gonna be the death of me. Okay, so we're gonna put this to about, that's good size. Alright, W subdivide. Number of cuts, 10. W subdivide. 2. Alright. So I'm actually going to now just pull this down by like 0.5 negative. Okay. Now let's make this use, what do we call our terrain? We just call it terrain. Excuse me. Alright. No, just, oh, do I already have terrain? Look at that, I do. And it's already using the image texture. Nice. So let's just smart UV project this real quick, and we're gonna move it all to whatever we chose for our terrain, which I don't actually know what it is off the top of my head. And go back to material. There we go. Maybe something like that. I mean, I should probably put columns around this, just so it actually just adds to that whole feel of like you're in this awe-inspiring place. So maybe we could do that. Excuse me again. Oh my god. Set this to 8. These columns don't need to be too detailed. Okay, pull this down real quick. Actually, what we could do is just, let's just get this to the appropriate spot. Easy. Alright. Let's now... I'm gonna die. Like, this is getting... This sickness is getting bad. Okay, now they're kind of, oh, I know what I did. They need to go to here. Like I say, you should make the ground not look so nice. That's true, actually. Make it look more like a battleground. I do agree with that. I'll do that after, though. So what I need to do is actually make this smaller still. I think I just made the column itself. Like, the narrower it is, the more detailed it'll look. Even though it's not getting any more detailed. Right? So let's go Shift S, cursor to center, press period, and then Shift D, rotate 90. Shift D, rotate 90. So she gives 4. Rotate, how much is this? 20 degrees? Ah, 20 was too much. I think it's more like 15. Okay. There we go. I should probably connect all that with a piece too. Right? Just to like make this look more and more intense. Even if this doesn't look like a grass place afterwards, it's fine. Like this will still be some sort of combat. I forgot to actually color these two, eh? And triangulate them, so that was really dumb. Very, very dumb. Hello, Gustin. How you doing today? Okay, what I want to do... Let's go back here real quick. Excuse me. Let's load up this mesh. This world. And let's just see what I chose for the green. Okay, so way up here. Okay, that's good to know. So we're going to be using colors way up here instead. So like this green needs to actually be like up here. Yeah, much better already. But this can't get more white because then that's just going to look crazy. So I have to stick with the grays that I'm using right now. So if we were in this, let's go and load this bad boy up. Maximize. You know, I don't actually like that dome anymore. Like that'll be cool for some battles, right? We'll do it, but like for the grass scene, seems a little ridiculous, I think. It just doesn't suit it, right? Because the whole game shouldn't take place in something like this. Let's unpause for a second, so this update. Yeah, because I want it to be like when you're in a forest, it actually looks like a forest, right? Alright, so we'll delete this for now. It's not hard to remake this. And let's also delete this. That's all one object, that's right. So with that being said, what we're going to actually do is triangulate the faces. We're going to enable proportional editing. Okay, I've actually messed that up. That's way too condensed. In reality, it should be more like this. Okay, let's pull this up. Pull these up. Right, so we just want to like, we don't even want to actually change this too much because the idea is going to be a forested area. We might put like a river through it or something, but that's about it. Actually, I wouldn't even put a river. You don't want anything. Here's the thing: when you're making a basically, so I want to keep the immersion. That's what I'm thinking for at least the forest scenes. Like eventually, you can change. Look at the combat scenes; have some of them flying, some not. But if you're going through just a normal forested area, you don't want the combat scene to have anything of note or of memorability. Mainly because then you won't feel like you're actually progressing throughout the world, right? Because it doesn't really make much sense to have traveled like 10 kilometers and then you fight someone, you're fighting in the same area. So even with that being said, I'm probably going to like rotate the world randomly so it always looks slightly different. And I want to actually stretch this out. Okay, now let's actually add a modifier. I haven't got much done yet, which kind of sucks. Not a boolean, a decimate modifier. Triangulate 0.7. Hit apply. So got all the detail in the middle, just fine, because that's where we're going to be standing. But I need to make this wider still. So this needs to be like a generic forest. Okay, so we're going to call this terrain ground. It doesn't really have anything of note just yet. Like I can put like a path through it maybe. Like a winding path. That's not that bad of an idea. Because if we're constantly rotating it, you'll never really notice it's the same winding path. Let's just switch this to face select. No, it's not. Well, there will be Sky Island later on. Like once you fight more epic things. It's gonna be a winding path like so. Okay. But for the time being, this will not be floating. How do I want to? I guess I have to do that, eh? Oh, I need those also. That's a shame. Take off proportional editing just so I can move these separately. Extrude and pull down ever so slightly. Okay, let's just check the size of this weird blob. It's rotated randomly. I know why, actually. Now that I think about it, we need two objects in the scene for a second. Add mesh, just add a cube. Over here. Okay. Save. And you'll notice this will then go this way again if I had a negative 90, so I need this to be 0. There we go. Okay. So let's give this a mesh collider. And save. Scenes. Let's go run up to that. Right, this is good. It looks like it's big enough, but not really big enough because you can see right there it falls off. So we do need to make the world bigger still. For that though, excuse me, let me cough again. Okay, I'm back. What I want to do here is get all these edges, which we have a bunch of, which is kind of weird. Didn't really clean this up nicely, eh? This is stuff you're not really going to notice ever in the game, so the detail, like the amount of polygons and whatnot, doesn't really need to be anything substantial. So we've probably overdone the whole terrain on polygons, but that's okay. We can always reduce. Reduce, reduce, reduce. It's usually what I say to myself whenever I'm modeling low poly, just keep removing stuff. That looks a little bit odd. And so does that, but I'm sure it's fine. We'll cover it up, right? Alright. Oops, not close enough. Okay, so he kind of like bumps in. I don't really like that. Now, let me just... Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mute the mic for that. Wow. I'm a terrible human being. That's absolutely disgusting. I hope I muted it. Maybe just like unpressed it at the end there. Okay. Let's now go here. The next thing we have to do, whenever we have a file that's added, we need to set this to calculate and smooth the angle of 0. That just changes how it reflects ever so slightly. Now let's go to that scene. Scenes. Black screen. Did the stream die? I hope it didn't die. It seems to still be running. It's interesting how this still got lit up even though there's no light. How did that happen? I don't know. Let's mark this as terrain. Put the actual terrain here. Ground. There we go. Then we open up the beautiful prefab brush and you see, oh look at that, actually for once loaded all of the, cool. Oh shit. I didn't mean to let go. That's okay. Let's, oh wow, some of these are really like over the top, like the rocks. Oh, a little bit too big, huh? I don't think I gave the terrain enough of yeah, and I also didn't put this in. Okay, let's do this for a second. Okay. I switched over from Twitch mainly because Twitch's system was terrible. It didn't allow like people to switch their resolutions. It crashed on me a lot. It also wasn't monetized, which doesn't help me at all, right? So it wasn't very useful. Let's just grab all these and like make it a hill, like an actual hill. Right, we need a few hills. Maybe even have this end off on a high note like that. I just hope you don't see then that it's, you know, doesn't really continue. Okay, what I could do next is a very simple random pull, ever so slightly, right? Because then it'll, you'll see. You just pull it up ever so slightly. You see how it's going to pull it like this? So if I just move it ever so slightly, it starts to give the terrain this nice texture that we want. And it does it at random for us, which is nice. I really don't like how it says no loops out there. Let's pull some of these out. Actually, that won't work now because I'm random, but that's okay. We'll just pull these over here. Because you can see, like, this side of it looks terrible. This side looks nice. You can totally tell where the detail drops off. That's probably not a good thing. We'll have to fix it. We might not have to fix it, though. That's the hope. Okay, the fact that there's no detail where the player is, though, really does sort of bother me. So let's just bring some of these verts in more. So we got more to play with here. I know why I did it, but now I'm kind of regretting it. Basically, I wanted the terrain to be flat, so that way when you're battling, the creatures don't through the ground. But there should still be noticeable, like, stuff like this, right? Okay, let's test that out now. Much better. And I goofed again. Okay, we're going to set this to a... do you guys have a celebrity crush? I do not. Hello, Pixel. How you doing today? Excuse me. We're going to... I'm over on my opposite screen, sorry. Right here. Set this to be named Foliage. I think I just spelled that wrong, though. Let me just check. No, I actually spelled that right. Look at that. So I can hit set, and it should create it. Boom. Okay. Now, when I drag and drop, we should see. Beautiful. Beautiful. There's too many big rocks, though. Alright, I'm going to drag the trees in manually for now. I mean, I guess I could load... Let's see, one of these brushes. Haha, look at that. In rotation. Why? Oh, shiz. Oh, yes. All this detail might even be too far away for me to notice, now that I think about it. But let's... We obviously want this to look like a forest in some parts, right? So... have this... So it kind of looks like a clearing in the woods, right? That's not a bad idea. I'm gonna need to like model a wall of trees. Okay, so it just looks like a bunch of stems, so that way you can't see past. So it looks like you're in, you know. So yeah, Malachi just said you need to put a lot of trees so it looks like, you know, you're not in, what do you call it? So the world just doesn't magically end. And that is what I'm going to probably do, just model some fake trees. What is this tool? This is the prefab brush tool. It used to be free, now it costs $2. Unfortunately. Close the prefab brush just to move this. That might be too small of a tree, but I do have an idea to help me for now. Oh, did I not put? Yeah, I got the trees in there. Okay, good. Let's put this to like size 10, 10, 10. So basically, I'm going to do the same thing that I'm doing here, but with trees in the future. Not in the future, but soon. However, for now, I will just keep doing this. Just like one corner or something like that. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. And you can't control that, eh? Okay, sure. Thanks. It's right there. Right, so that'll look like there's a mountain. It used to be free. I got it when it was free. I've never paid for anything on the Acid Store. Never will. Okay, let's just see what this looks like in the battle, right? That's probably what we should be testing. So if it's maximized on play and everything. It's funny, all of this, like, it's such clusteredness. Same with this sheep. This floating sheep. Okay, so we go talk to him. Let's fight. And our player is going ape. This is my code. That part where the player runs needs to be perfectly flat. And everything's a lot larger than it should be. Like, we're absolutely tiny in this scene. Or at least it feels like we are. Which is weird. Okay, so I guess we do need to flatten out this area just in case. Because this is where the player is going to be, sorry. So we'll do something like this. Take O off, set it on the Y to be 0. Shift S, cursor to selected. Origin to 3D cursor. There we go. So that should be perfectly flat. That should solve our problem. Right? So if we run to this, God, the trees look absolutely monstrous. That looks so nice though. Oh my god, look at that. I don't like the angle of that view. This camera here, it should be more tilted so you can see the background and such. And these trees are just absolutely monstrous in size. I kind of want to experience what this feels like in full screen, so I'm going to do a quick build and run. Am I the one that thinks those trees are too big? But they don't look big when you see it from the elemental view. Not the player or the sky view, but the elemental one. And, okay. So, everybody, as we all know, I like to do this thing called Ad Roulette. And it's been an hour, so I've actually been forgetting. So we're going to do one right now. Ad Roulette rule is pretty simple. I'm going to press the play ad button. If you get stuck with an ad, let us know what it is. If you want to watch the ad, that would help me a lot. But don't feel like you're obligated or anything like that. I'm going to press play here, and I'm also going to press play ad. There we go. Let's see who gets it. Whoa, you saw how that camera flew in? It was like on an angle. Yeah, this is funny. For some reason, when I build, it breaks this guy's mesh, and they look like absolute creepy things. Like, look at how creepy that looks. Okay. You know what it could be? I'm just not liking the angle where it's just so flat. like this whole terrain. There's nothing going on. I need some hills and stuff. Because over here looks really nice, right? Because you actually got hills. So that's what we gotta fix. Oh yeah, full screen. This looks beautiful, eh? Look at this. Okay, yeah, so we'll fix this terrain now. I don't know what side that is. I've yet to figure out where I'm spawning. So I should probably test that real quick. Just to see what side I'm looking at. Wicks. Always Wicks, eh? Okay, where is our player here? Okay, so our player is... excuse me, over there. Alright, so we need to model better where the path is. So what I'll do is I'll bring the path closer. And we can't really bring it much closer, but that's okay, we'll try. Oh. Okay, now we have portion editing on, which is good. I don't want to hide it. See, I don't really like how the path goes up on that hill now, because that would never happen. This path has caused me grief. I might just get rid of it now. I'm gonna get rid of it. So this is gonna be all squared stuff for a second. I don't know how well this will work with what I'm hoping. Whoa, let's not keep going though. Okay, so now if I took this, I went to face select first, took this, hid. If I triangulate the faces, does it fix all my problems? It looks like it does. Okay. Let's unwrap it all together. I think it was this one. Good. Now that that's happened, we can go about our life by actually making some nice hills and such. Right, because I think that's all that was missing, was just this layering of hills on hills. That might be too close. Let's go something over there. Which means we should do this in all the directions, because if we're rotating it at random, we're going to want to just have this cool layering going on. Right, and then every angle. So over here, we're gonna have to replace a lot of our stuff now, but okay. That's great, Pixel. That is actually really funny. So we're gonna have a lot of things now that are not visible here. So it's kind of a waste. I like how that's a little shrub. I mean, I kind of just want to press play and... Oh, it is on play, isn't it? Yeah, see, that's much better. Yeah, it really is much better. I could even make the terrain... No, I can't, because this is where we're battling. That needs to be flat. And my player fell to the ground now because it reloaded. That's great. So now we have no player. I really like this. Hello, Guynick. How you doing today? I'm getting so many notifications on my phone today. So sad. I gotta check some of these real quick. Okay. So yeah, you can see we have a lot of empty space, though it's mostly just trees. That's because all the small objects that were here kind of got demoed out of the way. Like they're not visible anymore. I could just go through these one by one and pull them up. But like some of these have no purpose here. Like this one, are you ever going to see this one? No. So let's delete that. I don't want to delete all my foliage, but I kind of have to now. Hello, I can't pronounce your name. Germox? Germox? Yeah, that's all what I've been working on for the last month. This scene you're seeing here was just made in this stream. I think I'm going to have to delete the assets and just replace them real quick. It won't take long. So let's delete this. Prefab brush. Only on ground. Call this foliage. We're going to load up the brush that is foliage. Come on, load them, load them, load them. Please load them. Come on. Don't fail me. Damn. Do I have another brush maybe? Trees new loads. And tree brush loads. But foliage doesn't. Hello, Bodwin. Thank you. It's been a struggle for sure. Alright, so I gotta go my prefabs again, just put them in place here, which is really sad. Okay, and you can see how some of the prefabs are broken. It's kind of a shame. So these are scales, scales, 0.8, 0.8, 0.1. Those are the rocks. I remember that specifically. So drag these in here. Okay. Then we need rock, rock, dirt, dirt, mushroom. Did I skip this? Oh, I skipped this. Let's put it there for now. We'll just start over. Mushroom, 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 log, log, grass, grass. We can even add another slot, random range, on the Y, random scale, 0.8 to, actually this could be even 0.5, 0.5 to 1. I don't want them getting much bigger really. Let's add another slot, random rotation on the Y, random scale, 0.5 to 1. Yeah, so we don't want anything of note. Let's add it. We can add stumps though, so let's add another brush. Random range, random scale. Okay. And we're going to save brush as foliage working. Save. Okay. So let's do this again. So we only really need the foliage on this side for the most part. Right, now if it's low like this, we're going to need it all the way down. So this is kind of a lower area. We're going to need a lot of big rocks though. But just make sure we're getting into all like the crevices where you might notice things. Alright, now let's start to put some more detail here. Alright, so when you're actually in the combat. Okay, good. Now let's do some trees real quick. So load brush. But I want to make a game, but don't want to code. That's probably the greater half of making a game though, so you're either going to have to find someone to code for you and work with them, or just learn to code and deal with it. I enjoy coding. I find it really fun to solve problems like that. So I'm sure you can find a lot of people to work with. Okay, all those places there were absolutely tiny trees. And I don't want any of these small trees right now. All the small trees I'm just going to lower so they're actually just shrubs. So I guess we do need some trees here before the rise up, eh? Something like that. I'm afraid that I might end up cutting into where my elementals spawn. Because if they're bigger, they might not fit here. And I want more trees. Just give me more. More. Feel like a forest. Alright, so let's close the prefab brush. Now let's do some tweaking. So like, small trees like this can just become bushes, or closer to bushes, or bushes, right? There's literally no trees over here, eh? What an area. Alright, let's drag ourselves a tree. Nice big one. Just one fat ass tree right there. Put it offside. Off to the side, I mean. There we go. There's like no trees over here either, eh? Jeez. What was happening with my little placement? Did I not place many? Alright, next I actually want to do what I did before with these rocks. That's having like 15, 15, 15. Not 1015, but 15s. I might actually extend this to another one here, but like shrink it down. Okay, so that is a cool background area. I might want to hello Chase. We're basically making I've done most of the coding for the game, so I'll show you in a second. We'll get close to it. I want to set this to 222. I think in the background I should just have giant trees. I don't know if that's the smartest way to do it, but are these all not in a... None of these are in a holder, eh? That's a big mess up. Oh well, I'll put them in. Alright, so if I had like giant trees like this off in the background, that might look good, it might look bad. I'm not really too sure. I might also just want to do it like this, where it's literally like, okay, I get it. Trees continue for a while. Maybe I'll put them farther away. Huh? Yeah, so my Kickstarter wasn't successful, so I took some time just to learn how to make web development, or not learn how to make web development, but it took some time to just do web development and stuff like that. And then now I'm back to game dev, and I figured to start a new game since it'd been so long. Curious. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is looking beautiful. Except for that camera angle, but Unity doesn't really require much to understand except for coding. And I do have some coding tutorials, but I'm not the best at giving advice on coding. I don't know if I code like most people do. I don't think I do. I use a lot of lists and for loops. And jumping between scripts. This is gonna be so good. I don't think you wish you had my skills, mainly because my skills haven't really netted me any money. Web development's made me more. But I'm sure if I ever release this game, I'll be set. Okay, so I want to quickly add a script here that just in the... Okay, I can't add the script yet because none of these are in a container. Let's create an empty. Props. Actually, it'll be terrain. And then inside that, let's create another empty and call it props. Welcome back, Mr. K. How are you? Put those in there. Cube 1, we no longer need, so I'm going to delete it. Combat controllers. This will go here. And all of these now. Can't believe I messed this up, but let's put them all in props. I guess I'll make a separate tree holder as well. Grass, rock, past it, mushroom bath, rock, blah, 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 blah. That's a shame how this wasn't at 000, because I'm going to break everything. And then think that through. Let's pull you out for a second. Put the terrain... Ah, damn it! I didn't think this through. Because now all of these aren't... I'm an idiot. Okay, backtrack a little bit. Don't break though, please don't break. Okay, just pull these back out. So, there isn't much gameplay yet. I'm working on the first combat scene. The rest, I'm basically just getting functionality. But I needed a nice colorful scene for the combat. It's going to be a lot like Pokemon, but I haven't done any of the animations yet. Okay, so we can now take this out. These are now empty. Good. Now we can set this to 000. There we go. Rename this trees. Create another empty. Ground. Hello, one guy. How are you doing today? Sorry about the ads. I should actually, hopefully I don't get another one because I'm going to do another round of ad roulette right now. Hopefully you didn't get stuck with one there too. That would have sucked. Go props. These trees are going to go into trees. And those are going to props. Okay. Quintus ships. You're either watching on mobile or you have ad block. If you've never gotten an ad, it's one of those two. That's what we've determined. Or you just live in a place where Curse doesn't have ads for. That's a possibility. Okay, so I need to, in my init, where is my init? There it is. Okay, so in my init, I just want to rotate that at random. So So let's just do this here. So really quick, I'll zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to call this the rotate world at random. Okay, so we're going to want a public int. Actually, no, I don't need any variables for this at all. In start, let's just create on a class we'll call rotate world. Okay. So up here, we'll just say void rotate world. So what are you doing? Like, could you play it or something? I can show you the game in 2 seconds once I just do this random rotation. So let's just create a quick local int here. I'll just call it r equals random.rotation, and then we need between 0 and, or is it -180 and 180? I think that's what I need for a Euler rotation. Oh, and I meant random.range. Then we want to get this object here, terrain. So let's just give it a tag, I suppose. I have a lot of tags, I know. Ground, combat ground. Okay. I will show you really soon what we've gotten done so far, but let's do game object dot find game object with tag combat ground. I know you can't see what I'm typing. I'll move back over. Dot game object, and we'll set this to game object G. Alright, so now we have the game object, and we also have a random range. Then we're just going to want to set the rotation of G. So G.transform.rotation equals new quaternion dot, I think it's Euler? No, new Euler angles. Unity set rotation Euler. Oh, it's transformed at Euler angles. And then I wonder if I can set this separately. Probably not though, so I won't. I'll just say new vector 3. So I guess this could be 0 to 360 then. I don't think that's... No, it needs to be negative. Euler angles are a little bit different, I believe. They don't go from 0 to 360, they go from negative 180 to 180, I think. I could be completely wrong. We're going to set this to 0, R, 0. So that should rotate at random, so it should always be different. Now, let's go play the game. Hopefully it didn't just break everything, we'll see. Alright, so as you can see, right now, all we have is a blank white scene, boom, and we broke something. Oh my god, I put that in my combat manager? RIP. I thought I opened, I didn't, okay, so I opened init combat, but didn't actually put it in the right spot. There we go. Okay. So we have a white place. We can talk to these guys, right? So I go to him. Says, do you like eggs? You can say yes or no. It still glitches and doesn't disappear. It makes it move up and down. I gotta fix that one. You can talk to this guy. This would be pretending. Imagine if there's two people talking to you. They're both saying, hello, my name is this. Hello, my name is this. You can go to this guy. He's a shopkeeper. So I can buy items from him. He doesn't have many items. I can sell my items to him. I have a lot of items. The pricing works. As you can see, it's changing at the bottom there, which is nice. Alright. Then we have combat. So if I touch that, it auto starts combat. I'll actually do this for testing purposes. So we can see we have a rock here, this there, two elementals. We're stuck in a run animation because I haven't actually handled the animations yet. When I press attack, it zooms into our creature that we can attack with. So I can choose my attack. There's only one creature. This is also another part I haven't finished, but we choose it. Oh. Interesting. We broke something. After that, That's okay. I'm sure it's no big. I'll fix it later. But I think that's a different rotation. Let me just test it real quick. Let's see what the rotations are. Yeah, it's definitely a different rotation each time. Like if I put this to 275, what if it was negative 140? I mean, it doesn't really matter, I suppose. Oh, this is creepy, eh? Because it's so flat. Watch this. Wait for it, wait for it. Ooh. Oh, that is so creepy. Because what we're standing on is flat, but the world around us isn't. So it just looks like the world's been fisheyed. Cool. I should put some grass and some small objects on the actual fighting area. I think for a second there I could see, I don't know. Yeah, so I seem to have been able to break something in a single player fight, which isn't good. I do really like the camera movements. I put some good time into that, and the canvas movements too. Right, how they all flow. Now, why did that break in a single player combat? I'm hoping it's just a quick fix. Let me just check here. So it's a 1v1. Right? This is my one creature. Alright, so it's one I... Okay, you didn't break now. But why'd you break the other time then? Oh, you know what probably happened? Like, why did it break? I don't understand. Oh, and I won the game, so they disappeared. Where is the, enemy... Oh, right, because it was just a NPC fight. I get it. So it did say we won, but this all comes back up. So we need to actually fix that, because now I can just keep attacking, and we'll keep saying we won. Interesting how we have so many glitches. One guy, honestly, that was my biggest struggle. You just gotta make the game that you want to play. Don't try to find like some unique feature or something. Just make a game you want to play. Plain and simple. And I really want to play this. Like this to me, I think it'll be so much fun once I get up and running. But I have so many problems with combat, it's not even funny. Like it's already said we've won 1,000,000 times. Chase is asked if this is for PC. It will be for PC. It won't be multiplayer though. Should make a single player experience. Maybe afterwards I can make it multiplayer. It can't be too hard in Unity. They have really good multiplayer features. Yeah, I don't really like how that broke. Let's go talk to you. See this? Now it knows we lost. And it left us here, which is where it's supposed to. Right? But in the other one, for some reason, we're getting a lot of grief with this guy. See, it said we won. Oh! Oh, I know what's going on. I can fix that real quick, actually. Let's find my debug where it's we won. Okay, so I put two separate win conditions, or a win one and a loss one. And on we lost, update active, update max turns. This didn't happen here. I think I need to put these there as well. It's basically, they're supposed to be the exact same script, but kind of not. Okay, that should have fixed our problem, I think. Because that will update what actives we have. It'll also give us our max turns. If did enemy lose, we won. Set up elemental UI. Yeah, so it should be getting rid of the UI. We should have a winner. Okay. Let's test it out. Whoops, I was supposed to go to the one of the comments where we can actually win. Like, we can win that, but I have to heal like crazy. So he got his first attack off. We'll send this guy out. Maybe he can get attack off too. Okay, good. Huh. So even though we won, these are still appearing. Oh. Interesting. Because we still have an active creature, I'm going to comment these out for a second. Because we have an active creature, the menu reappears saying we do. So wherever I coded, this update actives and update max turns, that part is telling us that we can still do things. Or maybe it's in my after combat state. Let's just check quickly. After combat state. This does nothing. It just says, yep, you sure do suck. Even if you win, it says that. So it should be saying that before the we won. But it's not. Why is it not? So this must be current state equals after combat. Let's find that. Do init. So even though it's interesting because it should be saying to us after we won, it should say, yep, you do suck. There's something wrong with this we won area. Like, this is saying we won. State.player. Let's see if this, whoops. Debug.log, we ran this. Oh, yeah, those win-loss conditions need to definitely be one thing. Because once we kill that player, it goes to inputs on us. So we're sending it to inputs. I know what's happening. I know what's happening. I keep running this wrong person. Okay. Okay, so if I'm correct, because we have these being separate statements, right? We won. These need to be in one complete thing, and needs to happen in one go, because when I'm taking damage, I'm doing this, and I'm setting us to go to input state, but I'm not then checking if we won. So we need to check if we lost, else, then we need to check if we won. Okay, so then we can do all of this. So did we lose? And then did enemy lose, right? So we check all this. If the enemy lost, we said we won. Else, go to state inputs, right? That should be there. Then we can delete the check win condition. This will be check win loss condition. It should give us 2 errors, which we can see right here. Check win loss condition. But no, this shouldn't be happening both here. Triggers less than 0. See, this is a problem. Because now, whenever someone dies, this might work. It might work. Yeah, I think that actually does work. So let's go test it now. You should make Pong. Start with Pong. If you're struggling with any kind of game development, it's the greatest game to learn. Oh, what the hell? Oh, duh. Because here, we didn't lose. Did we lose is still false. No, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. Instead of an else statement, instead of the else, let's try something. If did enemy lose, or did we lose, then we're going to continue. And it needs to be if we didn't lose, so if not, and if not. Okay. So if we won, this doesn't even need to be an else, but I'm gonna leave it as an else. Right, so if we didn't lose, we check if we won. That makes sense, right? I'm so tired of all these glitches. I just want the goddamn combat system to work. Why? Why are you here? Is this not firing or something? Like... Okay, wait. Let's just see debug.log. We didn't lose, and we didn't win. Do this. Else, I got an idea. The battle ended. This should be appearing. Excuse me. I do have a controller, yes, and I also use keyboard. They both work. Okay, so it did say the battle ended, but these still appeared. So what I could do... Oh! Right. Where's my update max turns? I'm dumb. It's going to return this. Max turns is 1. But why does that matter? I don't know where I was editing. I'm very confused. It's clearly lower. What's update actives do? Okay, so that's fine. That updates this. Maxers is this. If player indexed account, if any are live or true, then we didn't lose. Okay. Then we could do this loop. For did we lose? Alright. If it's this, did we lose is false. If did we lose, set up elemental UI. That's what I'm looking for. This is going to where did I get count of actives? Oh. Okay. So it's just the setup elemental UI part I don't want to do. Well, I do want to do it. I just want to say we have none left, like the fight is over. So I'll figure that out in a second. But if we lost, we're going to say we lost. Yeah, I need to change this. This is my issue. It needs to then disappear. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go code this, and I don't want to stream coding, so I'm gonna end my stream here, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, I've been me, you've been you. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow at around noon Eastern. So, take care, everybody.